Okay,
right.
we're recording. Here we go. So many things. Okay, what episode are we? Is this the four? Little Oak Weekly often.
We're doing pretty good.
We're doing very good. And we've managed to convince you to be.
I am going to be on it. Yeah.
Justin's a staple, everyone. Yeah. I didn't know if we were going to have him every time, but here he is. So we're happy about that. I'm happy about that. I don't want to do it alone.
It's a little harder to talk to yourself.
It is. Yeah. Okay, we have a lot to talk about today. So we're going to I can talk about the date because we're going to release this relatively in the same amount.
It'll be this week
of time. Yeah. What is it? Thursday today?
We're going into a holiday.
Yeah. We're going into the holiday weekend.
Yep.
We got a lot going on in the world, specifically interest rates and CMHC announcements and things like that. So we're definitely going to dive into that a little bit. I want to hit on some of the news, just kind of like brokerage news that's gone on in the last little while. So we had an incredibly successful golf tournament. That was amazing. Feedback on that was really good. I think
it was nice.
Dare I say, I think everybody kind of felt like that was the best location and best tournament we've had.
Of course, it's nice because like no matter your level, you can play it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And like great camaraderie. I really liked the shotgun start was awesome. Starting everybody at the same time, doing dinner together. So, that is only a possibility if we have enough people sign up. This year we were like, we went for it. We were kind of right on the fringe. We could definitely use more. So, Mark,
if you missed it, you should come out next year.
100%. Everybody had a ton of fun. And we raised $6,250, which we are splitting between Cancer in Common and Royal LePage Shelter Foundation. Mm. Two awesome causes. And so thanks to everyone who was generous with their money playing games. And and afterwards in the dinner, we even had some impromptu auctioning that went on of the main prize, which was really cool to see. So awesome generosity. Then in the last week, we've had I would say a tremendous start to our boot camp.
It's gone, really, really well.
Yeah,
it's fun too.
It is fun. So, if you're in it, you know what it is. But we kicked off. Was that last week? It was last week, beginning or early last week.
It was recent. Yeah, it probably was last week. I don't know.
Track.
My time is all over the place. I need Christina home.
Christina's been away. Justin's dying.
It's going to the third weekend. I've had enough.
When is she back?
Monday. I'm picking her up on Monday.
Right.
I'm gonna sleep all day.
There you go. So if you have an unanswered email sitting out there, then you don't worry. Christina's coming back. Everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
So we kicked off. It was last week, and we used our 7 pillars, new module, 7 pillars of a successful agent that Ray and I have developed together. And
if you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to episode 3.
Yeah, exactly.
We literally went through it.
Yeah. Or ask somebody who's in it, because we had a great
WhatsApp group.
We had a great turnout. We probably had, I think we had like 20 some odd people come to the training. And then we've had a bunch of people kind of jump into the boot camp in the accountability group, the WhatsApp chat. And so the premise is for 90 days, we have those who have committed to 90 days of incremental changes or activities that are all highlighted within the teaching that we gave. And there's other things you can do as well. And it's just small, tiny baby steps, but baby steps over an extended period of consistent time leads to tremendous results. So the really cool thing, one of the best things out of this for myself so far is just to see the daily, we kind of challenged everybody and we said, hey, why don't we just, if you're comfortable, post in the chat group or online what you're doing. It doesn't need to be a great explanation, but just a picture of your activity. And it's great because it's like, you get encouraged by seeing what other people are doing. It kind of just feeds into about a bunch of positive energy. And so that's been a really neat thing to...
It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, totally. So,
and really great job for the people who are doing it.
So if this is all new to you and you've been hiding under a rock for the last 2 weeks and you're going, well, what is this? I want to be a part of this. You can still totally be a part of it. You can get online. You can watch last week's or listen to last week's episode of this because we recapped the bootcamp training. You can get into the WhatsApp group. You can
download the file as well. You
can reach out and have coffee or lunch with anybody else who's in it and ask them what's going on and how do I be a part of it. You can certainly, reach out to me or Justin or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we're really excited about having a highly productive fall season here at the brokerage for everyone. And early results are really, really good. So
very good job.
There we go. Also coming up, Pacific West Conference. So next week, take note that, so that's after we have the holiday Monday, and then I think Tuesday and Wednesday is the Pac West Conference. So we would normally have, some training on a Tuesday or whatever.
Yep.
Next week, there's nothing. We're encouraging everybody to take in the Pac West Conference.
What is it?
Think of it. So it's morphed over the years, but
It's
now
relatively new though, isn't it?
well, the way they're doing it is new.
Okay.
It used to be that Fraser Valley Board did their own thing and Vancouver Board did their own thing. But this is Vancouver Board and Fraser Valley Board working together. It happens out of the Vancouver Convention Center. And just think of it as like, it's not like a trade show. I don't want to say trade show, but there's a little bit of a trade show element. It's, they bring in speakers. And so, if you want to learn more about tech or AI or closing deals or building a team or retention of clients, or like they got all different kinds of crap, right? Cool. Think of it as like a mini conference, but it's put on by our boards. We pay for it through our fees, but then it's also subsidized partially by the cost that you have to pay. Yep. And then there's some like networking events and things like that. I'm sure if you get plugged in with the right group of people, you could probably go party one of those nights or whatever. I was not at it in the last couple of years, so I'm not even sure that I've seen it in its new
You didn't go last year?
form. No, I don't think I did. So, but from all accounts, no, totally.
I've seen the pictures too.
I think it's better than what it used to be. Like, I think with the way they're doing it now, combining the boards makes sense. They got more firepower. There's more money, bigger budget, better people. We've all been getting hammered with emails from the board in the last, week. So like, you can easily find out what it is, find out who's going. I will probably make an appearance there. I'm not sure that I'll be there for all 2 days. We'll see. But I plan on going down and taking some of it in.
Cool.
I'll probably actually sign up or whatever today. So
cool.
That's that. So that's kind of like the news and notes piece. Let's talk about interest rates and what is happening in the market as a result. So some of you may recall, you will have remembered over the course of the last few months, I can be quoted as saying in various training sessions that we did that I felt that once we had sub 4% money, we would that to me was going to be a traction point in the market and we would start to see a change. Now, when I said that only like 60 to 90 days ago, nowhere in my brain did I think that we were going to see sub 4 money on this side of Christmas. Like I thought it was going to be, as we got deeper into the year and then into early next year. And so, but there's just been a lot that's all gone down here in the last like 7 to 10 days with the US Fed cutting their rates by 50 points. China has followed suit and also cut their rates by 50 points. And yes, China matters to all of us because we all consume Chinese goods.
Yep.
And then the other thing that has happened, so that, those are the, that's the key lending rates that really impact the variable rates, right? Fixed rates are impacted more by bond markets and then also the degree to which banks are willing to discount to get new business.
Right.
And so what we've seen in some of the fixed rate world in the last couple of weeks is way steeper discounting than anybody anticipated, to the point now where it's not even difficult to get fixed rate lending under 4%.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Which it just came hard and out of nowhere. And it's certain programs, it's certain lenders. Like this is where I got to be careful not to, step outside my zone of expertise. Like I'm not saying it's all banks. But if there's a lot of really competent brokers that we all know, whether you talk about the people at TD or the Kelly Manns of the world or the, what's the other guy, the mortgage pug guy, Alex, I did a bunch of our agents work with these people. And bottom line is you talk to any one of these people, they can get sub 4 money under certain conditions, certain amortization, certain down payment, whatever. But we have not this is significant.
Awesome going into the fall market too.
Then also, so it's not just that. The CMHC announcements about amortization and then also the change in, I got to try to get the language. Well, there's that piece too. I got to get this all, I got to get it out right. So so we now have 30-year AMs where we only had 25-year AMs in certain circumstances. Then it used to be that if you needed an insured mortgage, you were capped out at $999,000. Okay. So if you wanted to put 5%, 10%, 50% down, you couldn't buy anything over $1 million.
Right.
Then once you cross over $1 million, you can't get the insured mortgage anymore. That threshold has been increased from 1 million to 1.5 million. That is significant.
That's big, yeah.
That's significant news. It has also been deemed a bailout for Toronto and Vancouver developers, which is certainly one way of looking at it. What was the third piece you just brought up? The renewal thing. Yeah. That's big too.
True? I'd heard of it.
That's just hit. Like I literally just saw that news story. I think it was yesterday or the day before, where now if you come up for a mortgage renewal, it was up until recently that if you were staying with the same lender, you didn't have to get stress tested, which is kind of anti-competitive, right? When you think like, because this is garbage. I have to stay here not to get stress tested, but if I go somewhere else. And so now, articles just dropped in the last couple of days. You can now renew into a new lender and not have to deal with the stress test.
I feel like that's fair.
It's 100% fair, but there's an overarching thing to all of this. Like each of these, we could pick apart each of these things and say, well, what does this mean? And what is this going to do? The message here is quite obvious. The economy sucks.
Yeah, spend money.
The sales volume, forget about average prices. That's irrelevant. Volume of transactions is way down. Yeah. And it has been way down for a long time. Everybody is hurt by that. So obviously our industry is hurt by that. Government is hurt by that. Sure. They don't get as much of their property transfer tax provincially. The Fed, like everybody thrives in an environment where there's lots of transactions. Sometimes our politicians don't want to talk that way because they want to talk about how they're going to make things more affordable and they're fighting for the little man. At the end of the day, they all need the money. And we haven't had the money now for a long time in relation to what they're used to. This is a loosening of the systems and it's incentivizing the market to get going again because we can't sustain what we've had. And so it always looks different. Like I remember in 2008 and 2009, there was, it was common to hear people use the terminology economic stimulus packages, and then they would incentivize people in different ways. Like, if you get this type of mortgage product, we're going to do this. Or like, I remember there was incentives to do renovations on your homes, which there's a little bit of that going on right now actually as well. But like, if you put these windows in and this high efficient furnace or whatever, we're going to cut you this check. So, we're now starting to see, I think, the reaction to the effects of what was done. And when you get the two largest economies in the world, the US and China, cutting their lending by not 25, but 50 basis points. Yeah, that's crazy. That sends a shock wave through the rest of the world. And so what does that mean for us little people here in the Lower Mainland, trying to make a living, is that times are changing and it's in changing times that there's great opportunity. And so I want to just dive into that a little bit more right now. Cool. Yeah. So what does that mean? Yeah. Right. Me. Ask me. So Andrew, what does that mean? Thank you. I thought you'd never ask. Let me sip my water.
Sorry, I missed my cue.
If you're going to be here, be useful, for crying out loud. So here's one thought. This isn't all of it, but here's one thought. Like we've got still about 8,000 homes for sale in the Fraser Valley as it stands right now, which is relatively high inventory in comparison to other levels that we've had.
I thought this was supposed to be like this.
So is that where you want it?
No, I don't care where it is. You were using it for, it's Royal LePage. Just everybody sees it.
I just wanted to drink. I just wanted to drink or whatever. We'll leave it there. Fine, so we have high levels of inventory still. And we've had high levels of inventory primarily as a result of lending policy. Money gets more expensive or the world gets more restrictive. Less people could transact. Inventory piled on. People's debt loads grew and they grew uncomfortable. And so that's how we got here. But Now it is quite possible. I think I don't want to sound too bullish here, but we're about to, the pendulum is about to swing back the other way. And so, maybe we've already missed the bottom of the market, and that part is irrelevant. And I would even say we probably have, we're probably not right at the bottom. We were probably at the bottom a number of months ago. But the real opportunity, as I see it right now, is people who are capable of transacting. So making purchases, and if possible, negotiating longer closes, which is maybe easier said than done. But between now and, let's say, the end of January, it's entirely within the realm of possibility that we could see a scenario where the interest rate you're capable of getting today versus closing in January is different by 0.75
right,
or more. Could very easily be that. We're going to have rate announcements in October, rate announcements in December, and rate announcements in January. And yes, I know those announcements impact variable lending. Fixed rate is different. But the trend we're seeing here is that everything is moving. And so with a longer close, you can buy today, lock in today's values,
right,
close tomorrow, get tomorrow's rates. And in the interim, we could see an increase in prices, because as monetary policy changes and the cost of money gets cheaper, it's only a matter of time until we get some traction in the marketplace and prices begin to bump. And this is very anecdotal. This is not scientific. I want to even say that we've seen evidence of it in the last 7 to 10 days, because there are stories that I've been a part of, and then other things that I haven't been, that I've been seeing unfold, where all of a sudden these properties that have been sitting for 30 to 45 days or whatever, 3 offers, 4 offers. Well, what is that? Well, I can tell you what that is. That's people who have been sitting on the sidelines, afraid to act, waiting. And it's these types of stories that push them to act. The things that we just talked about, whether it's the interest rates in the US or the CMHC thing, whatever, the combination of them all is giving consumers confidence today that they didn't have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days ago. So, where's the opportunity lie? There's probably more than just this, but specifically, if I'm working with a purchaser right now, which I am, I have people that I'm sharing this with in my own circle. Buy now, close later. That's not to say you shouldn't close now. I mean, if you got to buy, just buy now and close now. But if you want to be able to take advantage of the best of everything, close at a longer date, because the trend is obvious. Rates are going down, and maybe they're even falling faster than what was originally expected.
So now you gotta convince and negotiate that longer close then. So the seller's got to be,
which is maybe not always possible.
Sure.
But, as we get into this time of year, so I just did a transaction actually where I wouldn't say that these elements were at play in this deal I was involved in, but actually the dates we negotiated were in January. Because as we get into specifically the end of September, beginning of October,
people don't want to move in December. Yeah,
you get in this awkward spot where it's well, I don't know. I kind of want to either be done and moved before December 10th, or I'm peace out till January 20th. Or
Christmas
15th.
Comes to play all the time.
Yeah, which not everybody thinks like that, but a lot of people do. And so actually, because of the way this is lining up,
could work.
I think it could work out, and you could be doing deals in the next few weeks for your buyers where you're negotiating a super long closing, and they're going to stand to benefit from interest rates and even possibly price increases by the time they close. It's not crazy to think that, we've been here before. We saw prices react quickly to quick changes in monetary policy, right? I mean, what did we experience for 2 years? Rates are getting jammed down, prices are flying up, right? Now, I know that's not what the Bank of Canada wants. That's not what the US Fed wants. But you got to remember, we think we think everything is about us, because this is all we do, right? We just think real estate, real estate, real estate. The lending decisions they're making are about things way bigger than the real estate market. This affects the entire economy. So it is very possible that they need to make these adjustments for the stability of the rest of the economy even if that means at the cost of the prices of real estate going up, which I know is totally against what anyone's even ran their mouth about in the last 2 or 3 years. But if China and the US are concerned enough about their economies that they're now dropping their rates, I know for Canada, we've been doing it for a while now. That says something. And you know what? Our Canadian economy, I don't care what anyone tells you, it ain't strong. It's bad. The numbers are bad. And, you know, we're going to see continued adjustment in rates. And, you know, it's possible, we've been at this place before where the economy is not strong, but the real estate market can be gaining traction and increasing in volume, both number of sales wise and price wise, while we have a weak economy. And then what do we know about Canada? Real estate, along with some other things, drives the strength of the economy. It will be real estate that drags Canada out of a recession. There are political parties in this country that don't want to admit that, but that is the truth.
Right.
And so, you know, I don't think I'm being overly crystal ballish or bold by saying, you know, we're in a recession. We're going to be in a recession for a while. Rates are going to get adjusted because that's what happens when we're in a recession. Real estate market at some point in time is going to get some traction. It's going to take off. And that's going to be the very thing that helps the country get out of a recession.
So in cases that you can, then you're making conversations with buyers to try and do what you just said. If it works for them.
Totally. I've had this exact conversation 3 times in the last 48 hours with different people. And you shape it a little bit differently for different people, depending on their circumstances. And everyone's different, right? Like, I mean, I was in Surrey yesterday, doing a Tuesday morning class with some of our newer agents.
2 days ago, but yeah.
Sorry, I totally lose track on days. I'm busy. I don't remember all of my days. Yesterday, right? And
not yesterday, but that's fine.
We're getting there. 2 days ago.
He was there. He was in Surrey.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the question was posed. It was kind of like, you know, not that it was asked this way, but I think the sentiment in the room was like, okay, well, that's great, but like, how do you practically apply this for different people, right? And I mean, the answer is differently.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a different spot. So this conversation was flipped on me a little bit, right? I shared this with the group and they said, okay, well then why would anybody buy now and complete now? Right.
Sure.
And there, you know, that's
just waiting. You mean?
Well, yeah. Like if you're saying like rates are going to be down cheaper in January, then why not wait till January? And I actually do think that in certain segments of the market, I think mortgage brokers will could speak to this a little bit. Because I had this conversation with Kelly Mann yesterday, specifically this CMHC announcement where they said, okay, you can amortize this way now. But they said, but it's only after December 15th, right? Like it's not instantly.
Okay.
They changed the rules, and then the threshold one of the million to $1 million, but it's not instant. It's as of this date. Well, then what does that do in the short term? It actually kills.
Did they actually do that?
Yeah, there's a start date to it. And again, this is where I probably don't have all my detailed notes in front of me, but you all are capable of looking it up.
Yep.
These CMHC announcements are not as of like now. Wow. It's, in 60 days. Well, what does that do in the short term? It actually kills transactions in the short term because everyone goes, well, shoot, I don't want to do it now. I want to get I want to get that.
Can't, right?
Or they can't,
right.
But it also, so there are those that can't, which that part's irrelevant because those that couldn't anyway, they're going to be able to as of the date.
Yeah.
But those that can today, a percentage of them go, well, I'm not now. I'm waiting. So
I would imagine a lot of your argument would be, but prices could go up. So if you could lock in now.
And that was precisely what I said. And this is why everybody's circumstance is different.
Sure.
You always, anytime you face an objection in anything, it's so important to say, first of all, validate the objection, right? Like if a person goes, well, I don't want to do this.
Empathy.
Exactly. Express empathy, but put down on paper what's being suggested. It's not It's not a thing to say, I'm not buying today because it could be better tomorrow. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
What is a thing is you say, I'm not buying today at 500,000 because I think tomorrow's going to be 480 or whatever the scenario is. Now you can quantify it. You can say, okay, so you think you stand to gain this amount of money. And then you can take that through the different depths of a conversation. And you can say, okay, well, if that's the risk, like if you think you stand to gain or lose this amount, let's measure it in comparison to doing the opposite action. And usually there's a yin and a yang, right? Like you don't go through life only winning. There's a double-edged sword to every choice. And so if we translate that into, this conversation and say, okay, there would be some that would say, I'm not going to transact until after the new deadline in December because I need to take advantage of the better amortization. Great, fine. It's pretty obvious. We can actually put on paper how you benefit. The greater amortization changes your payments by X amount of dollars per month because you're spreading it out over 30 years instead of 25 years. In a vacuum, that makes sense. But do we believe that you're going to buy this condo for exactly the same amount of money you're going to buy it for on December the 20th or January the 15th or February the 1st? I'm not saying that there's a right or a wrong in that, but you have to complete that analysis and say, what do we believe to be likely? Now, what I am suggesting is that in an environment where rates are getting cut, at some point, we're going to find traction and prices are going to start to go up. Not saying we're there today. You still got 8,100 homes for sale, but I'm seeing some signs and it ain't going to take long. Like this stuff goes quick. Like just let's do some practical math. Let's go, okay, we've been clipping along at about 1,000 transactions a month. Okay. For like the last number of months, which is like way lower than we should be even for like a flat market. We should clip along at like 14, 15, 1,600 homes sales in the Fraser Valley in a month. If you go back to flat markets of 2012, 13, 14, we had similar amounts of inventory and we were selling about 40 to 50% more homes per month. Okay. Check the data. That's what it says. So we have been like 40 to 50% lower than, and that is what's driven our excess inventory levels. Okay. We don't have excess inventory because we have excessive amounts of people trying to sell. We have excess amount of inventory because we have abnormally low amounts of people transacting. Okay. There's a difference. We did have in other market turns, we've had excessive inventory come onto the market that was incapable of being gobbled up by the amount of sales. That's not what we have right now. We have low amounts of transactions. We still don't actually have crazy high amounts of inventory coming on, which means the moment we return to regular buying habits of numbers of transactions in the marketplace, we will take our inventory levels down quite quickly. Like if we had 3 months in a row of 15, 16, 1,700 transactions, we could see our inventory go from like 8,000 to 5,800 quite quickly. Well, we all know what that would do. We've lived that out. What else do we know of the last few years? We know that while we've had restrictive lending policy decisions being made, we know that a certain percentage of our developer friends have been canceling projects. Not all of them, but a percentage of them. So the pipeline of new inventory starting now for the next like 24 to 36 months is not a very good pipeline because so many people took their shovels out of the ground and stopped laying pipe because they were nervous. Right now, things have started to go again. Like I know as of this moment right now, like I can tell you like one very specific story of a project in Coquitlam, which was delayed. Like it was literally put on hold for about 18 months. And like, as of last week, literally it's like, okay, we're going now. Well, guess what? Had that project continued, that product would have come to market sometime in the next like 12 to 18 months. Now we're not going to have that for the next 36 to 48 months. So our pipeline of inventory is dry. And if we get a change in lending policy that increases transaction levels, this could create quite the little real estate storm here. That's a lot of crystal ball work I just did.
You have a disclaimer. the bottom.
Yeah, none of this could come to fruition. Don't take it for what it is. Whatever. It's one man's opinion.
It's a note. It's something to think about.
Yeah. Buy now, complete later. That's one example of a great opportunity in the marketplace right now. And I think if you can, you have to obviously dig into some of the stuff and wrap your head around it so you can properly explain it to your clients. But there's, things are changing and there's good opportunity in changing times.
Sweet.
I think I kind of hit on everything I wanted to hit on. Is there anything else we're missing?
No, that was a lot.
Okay. Then we can wrap it.
We got training coming up.
Oh yeah. We should do a little bit of an, So we talked about Pac West next week. So then after that we have, is our regular office meeting. We have a
regular office meeting in Abbotsford, which will be followed right up again, similar to like what we did last time with our Bootcamp follow-up. It's a continuation.
It's going to be a continuation of the pillars of the Bootcamp. We're going to dive in these sessions throughout the fall. We're going to dive deeper into particular pillars that require more in-depth training that ultimately you guys can benefit from. I said this in the Bootcamp training. I mean, I think it's unknown, but it's worth saying again. Like, our whole goal in this is to help you sell more homes and make more money. Like, that's why we exist. That's what we get up every day to do. So that's the whole purpose here. We're trying to equip you to be able to achieve what you want to achieve by selling more homes. And so we'll dive into whatever topics of the 7 pillars that we think would be most beneficial in doing that.
Yep. So that'll be, I think it's on the 9th or something. It's in the calendar on the portal, but it'll be 2 weeks in a row, Abbotsford and Surrey. And then the 3rd week of October, we've got Royal LePage coming out. So there's a lot of training through October.
Yeah. We have a live, we have the people from Royal LePage. Do we know what that topic is?
We do. Yep.
I wasn't supposed to ask you that right now.
Well, I can pull it up. It's on the portal. It says specifically what it is. It's a 2-parter again. Yeah. They both are good. I just don't remember them off the top. The last time, like, we had them out. They're different. It's not the same. Like, they don't come out and do the same training.
No, but what I was going to say is, like, the last time we had them out, I mean, I was at the session. I remember thinking, like, hey, this is very high value. Like, this was worth it. So we don't do this for fun.
No.
It takes work. And our whole thing is that we want to provide high value. So we do certainly appreciate it when you take advantage of it and participate and come. If something sucks or it doesn't work, we won't do it.
No,
we're only doing things that we believe to be very high value that are going to lead to results for you. So
it's going to be a good one. So that's all of October.
That's all of October. And then, I mean, shoot, we're going to be into Christmas season and Christmas parties and the time, year flies, lots more coming. Yep. Okay. Thank you for jumping in with me. I appreciate you committing to this long-term because I didn't really want to do it on my own.
Here we are.
And if you guys have any comments or feedback or want us to cover things differently, or if you have any interest in how this goes, we would love to hear from you. We're happy to accommodate your suggestions. So
if you're not on the WhatsApp for the boot camp, get in there.
Yeah.
Send us a message.
Totally. Have a wonderful week. We will see you soon.